Morning FlossTube. It's 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, June 18th. And we're starting up here in my happy room because I'm going to take you to another part of the house and show you something that I accomplished this week. So it's been a warm, hot, humid week here in Kansas City, but it is summer, and I am not going to complain about it because in the midst of winter, I just can't seem to get warm and you would think with all this insulating fat that I have that I would stay warm, but I don't. And more, I do not like to drive in the snow. So this winter I had the ability to work from home, but we were over at the other house, and in the winter time, the electricity it's not dependable if we're having a storm. Here, I don't know yet. We did have a day this week where the electricity went out as I was coming home, and I did not know when the street lights down there at the highway are out, my electricity's out. So I couldn't open up the garage door. And we usually, we lock the front storm door, and I don't have a key to it. And I prayed all the way home, and I went up to the front door, and I wasn't expecting it to be unlocked, and lo and behold, it was. God heard my prayer. And so my husband I texted him to tell him that the electricity was out, and I told him that I was so glad that the storm door was unlocked. And he said that he had opened up the storm door to get my Avon order because the UPS guy had delivered it. And so thank God for my Avon delivery because he forgot to lock the storm door back up, which God takes care of me. Anyways, so I'm gonna pause this, and then when we come back, you're gonna be surprised. So surprise! I got my shelves set up, and I got most of the boxes unpacked and put on my shelves. And it's about, I'd say probably about 7.5 feet. And I couldn't put anything up here on this top shelf because the clearance to the ceiling is not very much, maybe about 6-7 inches. But on the, let's see if we can do this, right here along the bottom, I put all of my hardback books and my magazines. And then I have some boxes like this one and this one and this one that have the small half cards, and also it helps be a bookend for everything else because I had the magazines and stuff all over more than once. So I've got magazines. Well, you'll see some empty ones up here. But I loaded them and then used them for bookends. But it sits pretty good. I think that the floor is a little tilted towards the center. Our basement is in remarkably good shape for as old as this house is. This house was built in '63. There is some cracking in the floor, but we have no cracks in our foundation, none whatsoever. And it is incredibly amazing that there are no cracks. So I didn't, over on that, well, yeah, on that side is the water main part, the main stuff, and so I couldn't put shelves underneath that. And besides that, I really didn't want to, just in case something happens that we have to have it worked on. I wanted clearance. But anyways, what you're seeing is probably about half of what I used to have. I went through all of my stash probably about a year and a half ago, and pulled out the things that I knew that I would never do, and I gave them to my two of my very dear friends, Dorothy, which you've heard me talk about, and Carol, they just took loads and loads and loads of it home. What they didn't want, I took to work and put it up on the bookshelves that we have, and they were gone. They were gone in an hour. So somebody else was doing stitching. And speaking of that, I got very excited because I learned of a new stitcher. Our receptionist at work, she's retiring, which is wonderful. She's taking care of her sisters who have some health issues, and we were talking about keeping your head fresh, and since dementia is an issue with her family, keeping the analytical side active and the creative side. And she said she loves to do puzzles, and I said, well, that's the analytical side. What creative stuff do you do? She goes, I do cross stitch. I said, oh my gosh, Deborah, guess what? You're going to come over to my sunroom and stitch. Because she'll probably need it, taking care of her sisters. She'll need some me time. So I gave her all my contact information, and we're definitely going to stay in contact. So that's really cool. But I discovered I have some of the best stash in the whole world. And I'm very excited. I took a bag of it upstairs. There's some stuff upstairs I'm going to bring back down here. As you can see, I have some empty shelving, and because of the slant slightly, I don't want them to tip over. They're very solid, but I think I'm going to put, I've got some sewing books and stuff I'm going to put down here. I might consolidate some of this a little bit. I do want to go through though and like put all of my Christmas stuff together, all of my Halloween stuff together, and so it'll be easier to look for certain things. We've got let me turn this around. We have a setup down here. I don't know if you can see this. There's a twin bed. The twin bed over here, it's practically brand new. My mother gave it to us. And so the mattress is hardly slept on. So we're going to keep it down here because we have a full bed, our full bed from over at the other house. We've got that in the spare bedroom, and we bought a new king-size bed. So we really don't have room for it upstairs. Our old sleeper sofa, we got a new sofa when we moved in, and the entertainment center. And we do have a TV upstairs that I'd like him to bring down. That way, if we have bad weather, like tornadoes or something like that, that we could actually have the TV down here so we can watch the weather updates. But I could actually pull stuff off of my shelves and come and sit on the sofa and go through my stash. So, and I was concerned about the lighting down here. I don't think I would ever stitch down here unless I brought my stitching light down. But got a little like cave down here, and my husband wants, and let me turn this back around. Yeah, you can see, I'll show you the rest of my basement. Not that you're really that interested. But those shelves over there are built in, and I got a lot of my Avon supplies down here. And then stairs that go upstairs. There's our washer and dryer and our second refrigerator we brought from the other place, and our ironing board. And then that's let me see, I'm having a hard hard time here. This over here is a cabinet, and it's the door. You can open it up, you can hang stuff, you can store stuff in there. There's nothing in there now. And then this over here is a built-in workbench. And then, tra-la-la-la, there's our furnace and our air conditioning. And there's all the empty boxes. Oh, and hiding behind the empty boxes is my exercise bicycle. And then there's the bed. So, oh, and I don't think you saw those. Those are the boxes over there that aren't stitching, but I'm not ready to unpack them yet. So, anyways, so that was my surprise for you guys. Yes, I love my bookshelves. I love them. And it'll be fun organizing them. And like I said, I have the best stash in the world. So I'm going to put this on pause again. And then we're going to go upstairs. So we're back in my happy room. And I'm just not set up out in the sunroom yet today. I was up fairly early. And I went downstairs and emptied a couple more boxes, and so then I sat down and watched Cowgirl Kate's video. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sure all of you subscribe to her, but if you don't, you need to. She's created a design called Pocket Watch Pixie, and she's stitching her, and at some point she's going to sell the chart. So it's like a steampunk pixie, and it is really incredible. So this week, the stitching that I did get done this week, it was on Sunday. I haven't touched my stitching at all because I had my Avon order come in, and I had to organize that on Wednesday, and then that was the night that the electricity was out. And then we had another issue with an ongoing issue that's been resolved now, and I had to deal with that. And I've been tired when I've come home, and I think it's because of the heat. But it's nice and cool here in the house, but the sunroom is, I don't really want to open up the vent, but I've got the sliding door open, so. But anyway, so the only stitching I did was on Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, and I had a hell of a time getting the last video to upload. It took like 10 hours, so I did, this is my progress on my day nymph, and this is the lower part of her wing, and it's hard with this lighting in here. I don't think this will help, but well, not really. But up here at the top is the red. No, it's the copper. It's the copper Krennic. Very pretty. Now I'm not sure if I like the straight lines in the this color here. This is all one skein. Not sure that I like it. I wish it was more random, but I was looking at the picture of the finished product on the envelope, and that was the way it looked on there also. So I'm going to work on this today, and you'll see my progress next week. So I'm really pleased with it. I've had so much fun stitching it, It's been a real pleasure to stitch on. And when I was going through all of my boxes, I told you that I had some great stash. Well, I found a bunch of Mirabilia mermaids and stuff I had forgotten I had bought. So I'm going to pull those out and look at them again, but I've got the bug for the Mirabilias at the moment. And I also found a magazine where it was one of the autumn pixies that she did. It was in Cross Stitch, one of the Cross Stitch magazines. I'm going to turn this off. But yeah, I pulled that out too and brought it upstairs because I'd like to do it. I like those pixies. They're very, very cute. You know, the flower pixies. There was only one piece of stash that I got this week, and I think I told you last Saturday that I had purchased it with my humongo earnings for working on Memorial Day. And it did come in the mail, and it is beautiful, as I knew that it would be, because swap box. And Lilacs After the Rain, and of course, the colors are not really translating really well. They're more purplish or reddish than this. These look like blue purple, and they're not. Well, no, not really. They're more like a reddish purple. But I had never bought one of these charts before, and the chart is really, really big, and it's quite, it's 180 by 180. This is 2/3 of it, and this is 1/3 of it. But I was looking at the key, and they have, you really can't see it there, but what they have is some of the stitches are with one strand of the Brazilian yarn or 2 strands. Some of them are half stitches, and some of it's back stitching. And the Brazilian yarn, the colors are so beautiful. Absolutely. Let's see if this will help with the lighting. No, not really. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous colors. And they're well shaded. They're numbered, and I brought it up with me, my DMC color chart for, I want to match these to DMC colors for a couple of reasons. This is the fabric that they sent, and it is 10 count Aida, and it's a beautiful color. They just call it blue. Yeah, the lighting in here sucks. But I'm thinking that I want to do it on even weave in a similar color and in 14 count. So, or even 32, but probably 28 count. And I was thinking, do I want to use this? It is beautiful. If I use this, I'm going to have more, I'll have plenty, because 14 count would use less thread than the 10 count. But I also, just because I'm thinking maybe I want to use DMC instead of the yarn. And so that's why I want to match it up to a DMC color. And I'll do that out in the sunroom because of the lighting out there. It's so much better out there. But anyway, so that was I really want to get started on this. But I'm going to go through my bins over here, my blue bins, and see what kind of fabric I have. I know that I have like a blue-gray color that might work. That's big enough. I know if it's on 10 count, it'll be bigger than 14 count, but I don't think that much. That'll make much difference to me, because I want to frame this and put it in my dining room. I think I might have told you that. But at this juncture in time, I want to paint my dining room a lilac color, and like a lilac blue, like this color here, which you really don't see it well out here. But and then have like gray sheer drapes or curtains and like a gray carpet. I thought that would be really pretty. And I've got several angel pictures that I've purchased over the years. Beautiful. And Dorothy gave me a angel resin sculpture thing. It's a collectible thing, and it's on top of the cabinet in the dining room. So I want my dining room to be like angels and lilacs, because heaven smells like lilacs. So yeah. So that is it. Today I'm gonna head out to the sunroom and set up out there. I'm making bean and sausage soup, and they've got the beans on, and I need to brown the turkey sausage, and cut up the onion, throw it all in there, and I can smell it. My tummy is empty. So that's all here from the internal folds of the lilac thicket, and I hope that all of you have just an amazing weekend, and I hope your summer is terrific, and you will hear from me again next week. For certain next week. Well, I shouldn't say that. Nothing's certain. But there's also a book I want to get started reading. I've just got so many things I want to do. I want to get started painting my not my dining room, my breakfast nook and my kitchen. And I'm doing that in a sage green. And I want to paint the cabinets like an eggshell white. Pardon me. And so there's a lot of things, and it's really sort of amazing because this new medication I'm on, I feel my motivation to do things growing each and every day, and it is a miracle. God sent me a miracle. So I am going to say that you guys have a wonderful week. We love you here. And thank you so much for watching my face yammer on and on. And so God bless everyone.